Radhe Radhe, and a very, very warm welcome to everyone. We are so happy to meet again today as part of this Swami Mukundananda exclusive community. And as always, we are even more super excited to meet Swamiji and learn from his wisdom. And today's session is going to be a continuation of the session that we had last time. And it is going to be focused on the questions from the holy sacred text, Bhagavad Gita. Swamiji's new commentary on Bhagavad Gita, as you all know, has been released. And in the last session, Swamiji was kind enough to answer the questions of all the SMX members on the Bhagavad Gita. And today we are going to have the part 2 of that wonderful interaction. So welcoming Swami Mukundananda ji today to our SM exclusive community session. Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe Swapna, Radhe Radhe, Namaste to everyone. Last time we had a delightful session as we probed into the secrets of the Bhagavad Gita. And we have, I believe, questions have been submitted. And we are looking forward to yet another very insightful and very illuminating discussion between all of us.
Thank you, Swamiji. Swamiji, with your permission, can we get started directly into the questions?
Definitely.
Absolutely. So today we are going to start with a very, very young person, young philosopher, I would say. If you could please switch on before I pick the person, maybe a reminder to all of you. Please switch on your webcams and please make your questions brief. And if this is your first time interacting with Swamiji, you can also do a brief introduction. So with that, request all the participants whose questions has been picked. We have communicated with you, so please keep your webcams on. So what we'll do is, Swamiji, we'll go in the order. So then we'll first go to Julia G. Radhe Radhe, Julia G. Please unmute yourself, Julia Ji.
Radhe, Radhe. Sorry.
Radhe, Radhe.
Radhe, Radhe, Swamiji.
Yes.
Thank you so much because you are teaching, inspiring me so much. And then thank you because you take care about all the details, and then you make one Kindle version of Bhagavad Gita. And then I can bring with me to everywhere, every time. But now I don't know why in Amazon this Kindle version is now is not there, no? Okay, but my question is that because I understood from your teachings that the human body is the very precious and the unique and golden opportunity to realize God and to do devotion to God. And in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna encouraged Arjuna to fight, telling a body is not important and soul can take another body. And then please help me to understand this apparent contradiction in my mind.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
So, first of all, Julia, very happy to see your love for the Bhagavad Gita. On Amazon, you will find the Kindle edition as well. So go and look it up. It is available there. You can download it and carry it with you wherever you wish. Now, coming to your question, there is no doubt that the human body is precious, but all the other forms of life are also precious. Human body is more precious than the other forms. But that does not mean That just because they are little less precious than humans, we have the right to kill them. We don't have the right to kill any form of life. And yet, for a higher purpose, sometimes the undesirable needs to be done. Like, for example, when we clean our body, we are killing germs. They are also life. Just because they are not as precious as the human form doesn't mean that it's not wrong. But at the same time, if we don't kill the germs, we'll not be able to live. When we wash vegetables, we kill so many pathogens that are there on the vegetables. So sometimes a higher purpose needs to be upheld. And Sri Krishna in the Gita is inspiring Arjun towards that higher purpose. So, for the sake of that higher purpose, he's saying that Arjun, even if the body is destroyed, the soul will live on. So, do not lament for the body. He's not justifying it, he's saying don't lament for it. I hope, Julia, that answers your question.
Thank you, Swamiji. That was very, very clear. So now we'll move on to Aryan Raj Bhaiya. He'll be asking the next question.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe Aryan.
Swamiji, thank you so much for writing this Bhagavad Gita. And the best thing about this Gita is that whenever I read this, I feel that the author is talking to the readers through their words. So this each and every line of this commentary is really precious. Your quotations of other scriptures are also very useful. So thank you so much, Swamiji, for sharing this Gita with us. And
Oh,
my question is that Lord Krishna says that we have to remember him always with continuity. But I discovered that whenever I undergo some work, I need to apply my focus there. And by applying that focus, I tend to forget God for that period of time. And you have previously said that we have to keep our intention in that work. But still, I tend to misguide myself, and I distract myself from the path of remembrance at that period of time. So how can I balance both the thing, my focus and as well as remembrance on God? Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
okay. Radhe Radhe Aryan. Glad that you have been relishing the Bhagavad Gita, which is the words of God Himself. I've only just elucidated their meanings. Now, this is a question that students often ask because studies is such an engrossing work. It requires your complete attention. And that is why to do two things together, that Karma Yoga, is particularly difficult during such activities. To be able to manage both, focusing on your studies and also feeling the presence of God with you, is a very elevated stage. That is the stage of Siddhi. Now, when you start off, you can't expect Siddhi in the first instance itself. That means it will be a journey to that point where you will be an accomplished karma yogi. And in between, you will have to live with this. I am studying and Sri Krishna slips out, or I'm focusing on Sri Krishna and the studies slip out. So the question is that what is more important at which time? If you are a student, those studies are critical. You cannot sacrifice them. So if you say, no, I have to remember God, that is most important, then studies goes for a 6. That is why you set up some kind of a scheme. Before you begin, you offer your prayers to God and Guru, keep their pictures in front of you, and tell them you are doing this for their sake. And then when you take a little break, again remember them, again offer your pranams to them, and then at the end, tell yourself that this was done for the pleasure of God and Guru. So in this way, you slowly start adding remembrance of God. Fill in the gaps. And then the stage will one day come of Karma Yoga. So what will be that stage? You will live in the presence of God. We are always aware of the self, I am. But we are forgetting there's another personality inside, our Supreme Father. Now we will bring that into awareness. He is with me. He is watching me. He is my witness. And He is my protector. And the fruits of my works are for His pleasure. So practice until you reach there, but don't leave your studies for the sake of remembering. I hope, Aryan, that helps you.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. That was a very, very practical solution. We will now move on to a budding philosopher, Aditya ji from Virginia.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji. I've been reading your Bhagavad Gita book after I come home from school. I've been playing and reciting the Bhog and Arti after I come home from school and reading the book. And I was reading the 18th chapter when I came across, like when Sri Krishna was talking about the 3 gunas. So I had a question. Why did God create the 3 gunas when the supreme goal is to surpass them and go beyond them?
That is a very philosophic question, Aditya. So glad you have thought of it. It shows that you are probing and pondering over the big questions of life. Why did God create this world and the 3 gunas in it? Somebody asked Raman Maharshi, why did God create Maya at all? If there was no Maya, then it would be only God. The answer he gave was very interesting. He said to thicken the plot, he deliberately made it difficult. See, those parents who treat their children, take care of all their comforts and everything, those children grow up as babies. That is why I said if you treat children with kids' gloves, they land up as babies. And if you want them to become heroic men and women, then let them face some challenges and difficulties. Likewise, the idea is not just to think of God, but to think of God despite the allurements, the attractions, the challenges. So God has made this a difficult puzzle to solve. The reason being that when you get out of this furnace, you will be absolutely perfect. And if the journey was not so difficult, the level of perfection ultimately reached would also not be so elevated. Let me tell you a little story. Two neighbors, they planted trees by the sides of their fences. one of the neighbors took great care of it. He was providing it with all the fertilizer, the manure, and ensuring it had all abundant supply of water. And the other neighbor was allowing the tree to find the water on its own, and once in a while would help it out. And this first neighbor's tree was growing bigger and bigger and bigger because of all the nourishment it was receiving. One day a storm came, and at night, the first neighbor's big tree collapsed to the ground. And the second neighbor's stunted tree held on strong. So the first one could not understand. He said, I fattened it with so much of manure. Second one said, you over pampered it. It did not need to sink its roots deep because it was getting water so easily. Whereas my tree had to struggle with its roots to reach out for the water. And that enabled it to weather the storms. So God says it's not just about reaching Him. It's about reaching Him in the highest level of perfection. Kripaluji Maharaj used to say, Bhagavad Prapti bhale 10 janm ke baad ho. You may attain God after 10 lives, but you must ensure you attain Him in the highest category of realization. So God has deliberately created this puzzle for us.
Oh, that was very deep, Swamiji. Thank you so much for that.
You know the will of God. Before that, you have to make the best educated guess. What would be the will of God in this case? Right? If you have acquainted yourself with the scriptural knowledge, with the divine words of the Guru, they have taught you, look, this is how God wants you to be. This is what God wants you to do. So based on your understanding of the sacred wisdom, you evaluate that would God want me to pursue this? Or he's probably not in line with his wishes. Right? So that is a judgment you have to make. There is no such message in the Gita that at this stage you should know that God no longer desires it. Because he says, keep on trying. And at the same time, he says, your will should be aligned with my will. So we have to make our best educated guess in this case. And if you have a guru, then what you do is that you approach a guru. Guruji, here is the problem I have. And what would God want me to do in this case? So the guru is the specialist, right? He can tell you, like you go to a lawyer, you go to a doctor. The guru is the specialist in this case. He's close to God. He will be able to guide you in that situation.
Thank you, Swamiji. We will now move on to Vijay ji, Vijay Kunduswamy.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe.
My name is Vijay. I'm first time joining via video. I'm from Virginia. Ever since pandemic started, I started following JKO YouTube channel. Subsequently, I joined WhatsApp group. And I see, I saw your first lecture about God is ultimate happiness and everybody wants happiness and the logic behind. That day I just stopped looking for any further question. I felt that all my questions are answered. I just need to follow from here on. And sincere gratitude on your lotus feast for all the services you do. It's not just for the people who wanted to follow Sanatana Dharma, or to the entire humanity. Your service is much needed, right on this time. And now my question is, Arjuna was motivated to deliver his duty, and same time he was practicing bhakti. Entire Mahabharata, he was displaying that. But in material life, especially at work, I feel that if I'm humble or no ownership to the task given to me, I feel that I'm less motivated because the bhakti aspects dominate, and I feel less motivated. So can you please help me how fluctuating this motivation at workplace?
So, Vijay, your realization about that piece of knowledge related to happiness is absolutely head on. If we understand that we are seeking happiness and happiness is in God, then that's the only thing we needed to know. Now we just start going towards God. So glad you had that epiphany moment with it. And now, coming to your question, when we start engaging in bhakti, it is only natural that our motivation for work reduces. Why were we working? Because we felt it is the means for getting material opulences, power, prestige, luxury, security, all these material accoutrements. But then when you go on the spiritual path, you lose your hankering for them. They are required as much as necessary. And hence, it is only natural that your motivation for your work will reduce. But then you do need to do your work. Otherwise, how will you bring the food on the table? So one option is you chuck it all and become a sannyasi. Now that option is not available to 99.99% of society. So you have to do both. And what do you do then? To remain motivated, you change the intention behind your work. Earlier it was for the fulfillment of the self, and now you do it for the sake of your bhakti. Let me earn so that I'll take care of my body. Why? So that I'll use this body in devotion and sadhana, and I'll take care of my family members. Why? I'll make them all God conscious, and let me work so hard that I get a promotion. Why? Because if I get more money, I'll be able to serve and offer more to my guru. So now that material motivation has been replaced by a spiritual motivation. That's the way to remain enthused about giving your best to your job.
Thank you so much for such a workable solution. We will now move on to Bisaka ji.
Radhe Radhe Swami ji.
Radhe Radhe.
I am blessed and grateful for having your Bhagavad Gita commentary, which provides me a guideline for my everyday living. Now, my question is, in Sloka 9.4, God says, all living beings dwell in me, but I do not dwell in them. In contrary to this, God says in Sloka 8.4 that he dwells in the heart of every living being. Swamiji, can you please explain this contradiction?
Yes, Bisakha. The point that you have got is a very interesting apparent contradiction in the Bhagavad Gita. On one hand, he says, I reside in everyone. And on the other hand, he says that those who don't engage in my devotion, nattvaham teshu te mai. I don't reside in them, although they reside in me. So when he's saying, I don't reside in them, it's not that his presence is not there, but he does not manifest the quality of grace. It's just like there is fire in the matchstick, but it's not manifest. It needs to be struck for the light to come out. Likewise, he may be inside, but if he is not bestowing that grace, then we are not benefiting from it. So what he's saying is that, look, if you engage in my devotion, Arjun, I will maintain your yogakshema in every way sitting from within you. I will bestow my choicest mercies upon you. But if you are not a devotee, then I will administer you based on the law of karma. Your actions will be noted, the results will be given, but the grace will be withheld. So the point here is that although he resides there, the grace is withheld. That is why he says that I do not reside in my non-devotees. I hope that helps you, Vishakha.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. We will now move on to Robin ji.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe, Robin.
So Koti Koti Pranam to your lotus feet, Swamiji. Swamiji, and I have no words to express my happiness and gratitude about this book, Swamiji. Because whenever I read this book, I feel like more energetic, more confident. I feel like someone is with me, and then I have no fear at all, Swamiji. Thanks a lot, Swamiji. Swamiji, I have one question on chapter 18, 66 verse, Swamiji. Here, you mentioned Lord Krishna says, simply surrender to me, and then I shall liberate you from all karmic reactions. Here, Swamiji, let me start my question with example, Swamiji. Say, for example, if I have a fever, usually I will not go to the doctor. I'll do my home remedies, home steaming and all. And then I'll decide if it's not going to work, and then I'll go to the doctor and then get rid of the fever, which means here I am completely surrendered to God, which is like I have a strong conviction to get rid of a fever in order to see the doctor. So in the spiritual journey, how do I develop the strong conviction to get rid of material world and attain God? That is my question, Swamiji. How to develop, what to practice, how to practice, Swamiji?
Okay, so Robin, if I understand your question, what you're saying is that when we try home remedies and they don't work, then we are fully committed. Yes, I need a doctor and I'll need to surrender to the doctor. So how do we replicate those sentiments in the spiritual realm, right?
Yes.
So the important thing here will be the spirit of vairagya. The happiness I wanted is not in the world. I made so many desires, I tried to fulfill them, the situation remained the same. It was like chasing a mirage. And then, this world is temporary in any case. I will have to leave it all behind. And every relationship is based on self-interest. There is no true relative. The more we become convinced about the nature of the world, the more we will develop the hunger to surrender to God. As was the case with Ratnakar. When Narad came, he tied up his guru first. And Narad said, you go and check whether your family members will be accomplices in the consequences of your sin. So when he came to know that everybody is selfish, he said, Guruji, I'm fully surrendered. Tell me what I should do, and I'll follow it to the letter. So that Shraddha or faith came about through vairagya or detachment. So likewise, now what happens is that we develop detachment in the world, flashes of it. When you experience reversals, when somebody cheats you, when you fall sick, you say, oh, this world is like that. But then again we forget. And then again we get that experience, then again we forget. So if we could just steady our detachment from the worldly allurements, that would create a deep hunger. And when there is such a yearning, then the surrender is extremely speedy and the soul progresses rapidly. I hope that helps you, Rob.
Thank you, Swamiji. That was very profound. We'll now move on to Arthur Burton.
Radhe Radhe, Swami, it's delightful to see you. We met in Tampa in August, and I've started becoming regular with Morning Gems, and it brings me almost to tears. It's so profound.
Yes. Radhe, Arthur. I do remember.
Yes.
I think you
Oh,
accompanied
beautiful.
me in a couple of morning walks, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes, sir. Thank you. So we just covered in Morning Gems the how that everything is the energy of God. In essence, that everything is energy, and that energy is God. And you broke it down with the three energies of Yoga Maya, which and you define that as Radha or Sita or Durga, one of the Shaktis, and Maya, the insentient material, and the borderline energy, the soul. And so my question is kind of twofold. How the words or concepts Purusha and Prakriti, how does that fit into this threefold? And then, if I may, if Radharani is Yoga Maya, then what is Krishna in this threefold understanding of reality?
Okay. All of reality has its unity, and within the unity is the diversity. So what is the unity? It is all one Lord, Krishna. But he has taken on the form of the energetic and the energy. So when we talk of Krishna, he is the energetic, the source of the energies. We can also refer to him as everything in totality. So that is also a perspective that is given in the scriptures when Lord Krishna tells Brahma, Ahameva Sameva Agre. Oh Brahmaji, there is nothing apart from me in this creation. It is all me and my energies. So he is pervading everything through his energies. But then to break up that for the sake of deeper understanding, we say he is the source and he has these three energies. Now, he is referred to as the Purush. The Purush is the enjoyer. And Prakriti is his energies. That is one way of looking at it. So the purpose of the energies is to give pleasure to the Purush. And then this same Purush and Prakriti is also used in other contexts. So the Sankhya Darshan uses it in the context of the soul and Maya. That is the Sankhya Darshan, one of the 6 darshans. It says Maya is Prakriti and the soul is Purush. So that's a lower kind of perspective to it, but it helps us. It is a perspective presented by a scripture. So Purush or the soul is trying to enjoy Prakriti, and that is the cause of its bondage. And when the soul gives up this desire to enjoy Prakriti, it will get liberated. So that is a classification that has been used by some of the great saints and commentators. And as regards Radha being Yoga Maya, Radha is presides over. She is the personification of Yog Maya. She presides over it, but Yog Maya is so many more things under Radha. So you are very right in your understanding. There is the superior energy, which is Radha, and under that comes the soul energies, and then under that comes the material energy. I hope, can we just unmute him? Because such a philosophic question. Did that answer your question? Just
There we go. I have tears in my eyes, sir. I've been studying and reflecting on the mystery of Purusha and Prakriti for like 20 plus years. And in 3 minutes, you've just answered something I've been, yeah.
Okay.
So more than yes. Thank you.
Good, good. I look forward to meeting you when I come to US this time. Radhe Radhe.
Wonderful. That was very, very deep. So we will now continue. We'll move on to Sunil ji. Radhe Radhe, Sunil ji.
All right. Radhe Radhe, Swamiji. You're looking well.
Radhe Radhe. Yes, yes, Radhe Radhe. Sunil, you have the sun right behind you.
You know, I'm facing west, and the sun should be. The only thing is, I wanted the sun behind me, but it's not moving, unfortunately. But the sun should be behind me.
Okay.
Swamiji, so to my question, actually, this came up. I took it one of the JK Yoga Academy classes. This is started in March 2020, and this verse actually popped out. It was very strong when I first heard it. I felt a little shocked, but then I saw how practical it was. It was Bhagavad Gita chapter verse 2, verse 11 and 16. If you want me to, I can maybe read it for others so they can get the idea. Okay,
Go
chapter
ahead.
2.11 is, the Supreme Lord said, while you speak words of wisdom, you are mourning for that which is not worthy of grief. The wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. And in 2.16, of the transient, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, there is no cessation. This has verily been observed and concluded by the seers of the truth after studying the nature of both. So primarily saying that death shouldn't be such a, I guess shouldn't have a fear of death. It's natural, it happens, and this is just part of the cycle, because we lose the body, but the soul is eternal. So I was thinking, when it pertains to the our sadhana, my question was, should we not have the mindset of not fearing death, but of a mindset of anticipating death? Though initially uncomfortable, would keeping this mindset be helpful in increasing the immediacy and focus of our spiritual sadhana?
Absolutely. I think that is very well put, that rather than fearing death, we should be anticipating it. So it is the art of thinking. What to think to get ourselves in a mess, and what to think to get ourselves out of the mess. Those who don't know the art of thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die one day. And those who know the art of thinking say, it's a reality of life and it can come anytime. So let me be prepared for it. What makes the difference here is the mindset of being solution oriented rather than problem oriented. Being problem oriented is not productive. It's a negative way of thinking. This is so bad, this is going to happen, and I'm worried and I'm fearful. And being solution oriented means that a problem is there, but I will not benefit just by harping over it. If there's a solution, let me find it. If there is not, let me accept it. So to anticipate death is being solution oriented. It works to our benefit because it keeps us aware of the value of time. And if we let that bit of knowledge slip out of our mind, then we say, I've got a lifetime ahead of me. What is the hurry? I will do it, but not today. So remembering death helps us speeden up the process. Kripaluji Maharaj's words, I'm reminded of them. He says, Sada sochahu jane kab chin jaye tanu yah pyare. Oh dear soul, always think, I don't know when death will befall me. Let me be quick in my efforts. Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you so much, Somaji. That was very clear. Now we will move on to Sharat ji. Please unmute yourself, Sharat ji.
Okay. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah. Your Holiness, Gurudeva, आपको कोटि कोटि प्रणाम. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Sharat.
Gurudeva, thank you so much for everything. Actually, Gurudeva, I named my nephew after your name as Mukunda. So just like how God is a part of every family, you're a part of my family as well.
Happy to hear that.
Thank you so much for everything, Gurudeva. Namaste, one and all. And my question is, there's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Swamiji. It states that, I quote, never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your actions. Page number 114. In this, Gurudeva, from the perspective of accountability for individual action, could this statement mean that one is not accountable for the consequence or results of his actions? So I felt, if it is so, how is it justifiable? Why should one not consider himself to at least be one of the causes of a problematic consequence when such a consequence is associated with the action performed by him? Thank you.
Sharat, this is one of the big riddles of philosophy, of spirituality. On one side, Sri Krishna says, do, it all depends on you. On the other side, he says, you are not the doer, I'm the one who's doing everything. Don't think that it's because of you. So these contradictory instructions and messages are coming all the way through. On one side, we all say, without the will of God, not even a leaf will move. And on the other side, we are being told, you go ahead. If you don't do it, then you will suffer the consequences. So what we need to remember here is there are two kinds of doers. One is he who gives the power, the energy with which we perform actions. And second is the one who's using that energy. Like the powerhouse gives you the electricity. If they did not, you could not have any electric work. But once you have the power, you have the choice what you want to do with it. So likewise, the onus of how we use those Shaktis lies with the soul. And that is why we are responsible for the consequences of our karmas. So while we need to understand that good and bad karmas will bear the consequences, at the same time, we need to practice remembering that the energy has come from the Lord and hence attribute all the good to Him. That if He had not given me the powers, me poor soul, what would I have done? And if I did anything bad, it was my insincerity, my impurity, my lack of surrender. Let me attribute the bad to myself. This will free us from the pride of doership. That is why Lord Ram was given this instruction by Vasisth. Karta bahir, akarta antara vihara raghava. O Ram, externally put in your best actions as if it's all dependent on you. And internally practice to think, see yourself as the non-doer. So, Sharad, this is a theoretical knowledge for you today. But as you move on this path, you will get the realization and you'll say, yes, there is really no conflict. Both these views can be held in the mind simultaneously.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. We will now move on to Uday Kumarji for the next question.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe Uday.
Yeah, I'm blessed and fortunate to have this copy and its most lucid commentary on the slokas and all. And this is going to be my companion for my rest of my life in my spiritual journey. Thanks a lot, Swamiji.
Wow, you have such a wonderful companion. No, never fear when Bhagavad Gita is here. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my question for clarification is from chapter 8, Akshar Brahma Yoga. The sloka is from 8.13. There's a mention about this Omkar, that is Pranava mantra. I just wanted to know whether that is also a cause for this creation and dissolution of the whole universe and all. And followed by that, you have mentioned that Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, when it breathes and breathes out, new universes and everything is born and dies. So I just want to have a clarification.
Yes, this is one of the mystical aspects of our scriptures, the Om vibration, the Pranav, the Omkar. Why it is said to be the basis of creation. See, even the Bible says, it starts off like this, the Old Testament. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now, what was that word? There's no mention, no clarification. That word was Om. So why is it that Om is considered the basis? See, when we go into the sequence of creation, the primordial tattva of Maya was Prakriti. And then when God wished to create, he glanced at Prakriti, so it started unfolding. So then the next tattva came, Mahan. And from that came the next one, Ahankar. And from Ahankar came the Tanmatras. These are the objects of the senses. And in these Tanmatras, Shabd, Sparsh, Roop, Ras, Gandh, the first to come is Shabd. That Shabd is Om. So from one comes to next, and then comes the Panch Mahabhut. So then space is created. Then after that, the air, then fire, then water, then the earth. So the original, it started unfolding from that Om. And that is why it is a sound that pervades all of creation. If you close your ears, you can hear the Om. Okay, so in the Vedas, it is added to many mantras in the beginning as the Bij mantra. Some people say, because we have the multiverse theory in our Vedas. So I have heard people say this, and it seems logical that this is the Om universe. And there would be other universes differently made, where instead of Om, there was something else as the basis. So Sri Krishna says, I am that Om. But Om represents his formless aspect. So devotees, they say, yes, you are Om, agreed. But it does not fascinate us, that aspect of yourself. We are attracted by your personal form. So we would rather relish the bliss, your Roop Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Murli Madhuri, all the sweetness that emanates from your personal form. Okay, I hope that helps you.
Absolutely, Swamiji. Thank you so much. We will now move on to Tigla Reddy ji.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe,
My
Radhe.
humble pranams to your lotus feet, Swamiji.
My
Swamiji,
best wishes, yes.
I am from India, Andhra Pradesh, Anantapur district. Swamiji, we met in Hyderabad. Swamiji, I attended 4 days satsangs in Engineers Bhavan
Okay.
and also Sivananda Ashram.
Okay.
Swamiji, in Divakarji's house, morning walk with Swamiji, also Swamiji.
Okay, okay. Right. I
Swamiji,
think I do remember that. Yes.
Swamiji, before joining JK family, I had so many doubts in the spirituality. But after completion of my daily sadhana, Swamiji, all my doubts were vanished. Like your explanation on Kesini Sudhana in the verse 1 of 18th chapter in Bhagavad Gita. Swamiji, today I am Swamiji, today I am seeking a clarification on holy, which was used in the story of Janamejaya while interacting with Ashutoshji and Bhavanaji on Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Swamiji, please clarify me the difference between Honi and Kriyaman Karma. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Yes. So, Reddy ji, so delighted the fact that when I came to Hyderabad, you followed me all the way through. It was a expression of your yearning and your devotion. So my best wishes to you, and glad to see that you are feeling that confidence that you have understood and the doubts are dispelled. So Keshi Nisudan has slayed them all with the light of knowledge. Now, coming to your question, Kriyaman Karma is the karmas we do with our free will that is always available to us. But the example of Janmejaya contradicts that concept, because Janmejaya has this honi, where something will happen no matter what. We need to remember that was a special case related to the pastimes of God. There was work to be done. There was a purpose to be served. Janmejaya had to sit and hear the whole Mahabharata from Vaishampayan. And that is the reason why this honi was unavoidable. But we cannot extend it and say that, it is also in our case, there is this honi. Invariably, we should keep this point of view. When we are putting in our efforts, think it all depends on my purusharth. But when the results come, then you resign yourself, maybe it was the will of God. So that way you will not feel disturbed. But remember that for Janmejaya, it was being done to serve a purpose as a part of God's pastimes. And in the case of us simple souls, God wants us to put in the Purusharth to improve ourselves. So there's no question of honi that, God wants me to be a sinner. It is a honi in my life. It will never be. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji. We'll now move on to Pramod ji. Please unmute yourself.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe, Pramod.
My best humble pranam to your lotus feet.
Actually, you have spent the whole two years away from Cuttack.
Yeah, I'm going to attend the Sadhana Shivir on 29th March. I will stay with you for 6 days. I have already applied my leave.
Okay.
And Swamiji, actually, we are so fortunate and blessed that the Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God, and the narrated by you, the commentary so simply, so simple, and it is understandable. People of so many Puran and Bhagavatam and so many literatures we have derived, and it is easily understandable. And my one doubt is that, please help me. Lord Krishna selected Arjun, who is the elevated devotee and as well as his friend, and giving him the most confidential knowledge. And why did Arjun lament on the death of his own son, Abhimanyu, in the battlefield? Whether Arjun is still attached with the material world, or alternatively, I will think it is a Leela. I should not put my mind in this Leela, put not my intelligence. Please help me.
Yes. That is, you have given the answer yourself. Wherever you come across these karmas of God or his associates, where they seem to be in Maya, but obviously they could not because they were enlightened souls. So the answer is they were enacting a Leela. And that Leela was enacted for the benefit of human welfare, to give us all the message that, look, this father, son, etc. is all temporary. Don't overvalue it. Arjun is showing to us that, look what is happening. So we needed to hear from Abhimanyu, and that is why that Leela took place. Okay, so the answer is as you have given. It was actually a Leela, which is the case with the whole Bhagavad Gita itself, that Arjun was in knowledge. He was the avatar of Nar from Nar Narayan. So how could he then fall into such deep ignorance? And the answer is Sri Krishna arranged for it, so that Sri Krishna would get an opportunity to speak the Gita. When Sri Krishna thought the situation is right, he threw Arjun in that ignorance, which is not a big deal for God. And then through Arjun, he asked those questions. And from his divine body, he answered them. And that question answer got immortalized as the Bhagavad Gita, which we read today. It was a Leela again for human welfare. Thank you, Pramod.
Thank you, Swamiji. Swamiji, quick
Yes.
time check.
So, Swapna, what we can do is, how many hands we've got? 2 hands up, right?
Actually,
Let's.
yes, Swamiji, and Basudev ji is also there.
Okay, so let us seal it. Let us seal them at these 3.
Okay. Swamiji.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Vishwanath ji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Swami ji.
Radhe Radhe Vishwanath.
Radhe Radhe. I would like to express myself in Hindi. Can I?
हाँ बिल्कुल बोलिए.
हाँ स्वामी जी, मैं आपसे 2-3 साल से मैं आपका वीडियोस देख रहा हूँ यूट्यूब में. तो मतलब मैं यूट्यूब एक्सक्लूसिव प्लेटफॉर्म में मेरा ये पहली बार है. तो मतलब इससे पहले भी मैंने आपसे एक बार इंटरेक्ट करने का मुझे मौका मिला था, जहाँ में मैंने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि मतलब जो हम लोग गुड हैबिट से बैड हैबिट से गुड हैबिट में जो ट्रांजिशन होता है वो दोबारा पेनफुल होता है. तो आपने 2 सॉल्यूशन दिया था कि इंटेलेक्चुअल कन्विक्शन और एंथुसियाज्म, ये दोनों आपने दिया था. तो स्वामी जी, आज का मेरा क्वेश्चन है भगवद गीता चैप्टर 2 वर्स 41, जो व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि ही एकः कुरु नंदना. अगर हमको एक स्टेबल माइंड चाहिए तो हमारा फोकस सिर्फ एक जगह में होना चाहिए. तो स्वामी जी, जैसे हम लोग खुद को जैसे बैड हैबिट को गुड हैबिट्स में परिवर्तन करने का कोशिश करते हैं, अपने माइंड को एक जगह में लगाने का कोशिश करते हैं, जो अपने सेंसेस को रेगुलेट करने का कोशिश करते हैं, तो उस फेज में बहुत अनकंफर्टेबल फीलिंग होता है, मतलब विड्रॉल सिम्पटम्स होता है कि वो लोग फिर से माइंड नहीं चाह रहा है वो करना. तो उस सिचुएशन में माइंड को कैसे संभाले और अपने पाथ पे कैसे चले?
यही तो संघर्ष है. माइंड की इच्छा के विपरीत उसको जबरदस्ती ले जाना, यही तो संघर्ष है, यही तो साधना है. वो माइंड जो है हमारा मित्र नहीं है, हम उसको मित्र बनाए हुए. वो माइंड को अपना दुश्मन माना. जो माइंड कहे उसका उल्टा करो. माइंड कहे मुझे आइसक्रीम खानी है, नहीं मानीराम हम कुछ भी देंगे, आज आइसक्रीम नहीं खाएंगे. माइंड के विपरीत खाओ करो वो माइंड धीरे 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 वो कंट्रोल में आ जाएगी। अब उसको माइंड को हम जितना लिफ्ट देते हैं बस उतना वो माइंड हावी होने लग जाती है। अब ये चाहिए, अब ऐसा सोचो, अब ऐसा करो, है ना। तो एक लक्ष्य बना लें कि जो हमारा लक्ष्य है उसके लिए संघर्ष करना ही पड़ेगा। आप हमारे प्रवचन में सुने होंगे, देयर आर नो फ्री लंचेस। भाई कोई भी चीज प्राप्त करनी है परिश्रम तो करना ही पड़ेगा, है ना। तो या तो अभी हम संघर्ष करें और या फिर बाद में संघर्ष करना पड़ेगा। लेकिन अगर प्राइस अभी देंगे तो कम रहेगा और बाद में प्राइस दोगे तो ज्यादा देना पड़ेगा। तो इसलिए निश्चय कर लो कि भाई वो संघर्ष जो है वो लाभदायक। इसलिए तो कठोपनिषद में श्रेय और प्रेय का एक सिद्धांत आता है। प्रेय का क्या है? जो अभी बहुत मीठा है बाद में कड़वा लगेगा। और श्रेय क्या है? हाँ, इसमें आता है माइंड मैनेजमेंट में, वो श्रेय जो है अभी कड़वा लगता है। जो समझदार व्यक्ति है वो घबराता नहीं, वो कहता है मुझे अपने लक्ष्य को सामने रखना, भले उसके पहुंचने में कष्ट हो, लेकिन अंदर से जो आनंद आएगा वो एक अलग ही होगा। ठीक है, तो ये संघर्ष आप जितनी बार सही चीज को चुनोगे, पहले कठिनाई आएगी, फिर धीरे धीरे आसान होता जाएगा और बाद में बिल्कुल सहज हो जाएगा। तो ये युद्ध को हमें किसी न किसी जन्म में जीतना ही है। क्यों ना इस जन्म में हम जीत लें।
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for that beautiful response. Last question for today. We'll go to Gautam ji.
प्रणाम स्वामी जी।
नमस्ते।
राधे राधे, नमस्ते।
सिद्धांत आपको अगर याद हो स्वामी जी।
Oh yes, 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 that's right.
स्वामी जी मेरा क्वेश्चन सिलेक्ट नहीं किया गया था, बट मतलब किस्मत की बात है कि पूछने को मिल रहा है। तो स्वामी जी कभी कभी अगर किसी के सामने हम भागवत गीता कोट करते हैं तो सामने से क्वेश्चन आता है कि अगर भगवान ने हमारे एंजॉयमेंट के लिए कोई चीज नहीं बनाई है तो बनाया ही क्यों दुनिया को? इन दी फर्स्ट प्लेस बनाने की जरूरत ही क्या थी? हम क्यों बने? मतलब द वर्ल्ड वुड हैव, कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता। तो भगवान ने दुनिया क्यों बनाई? ये पहला क्वेश्चन है मेरा। कि मतलब मैंने शायद जवाब भी दिया था अपने क्वेश्चन में कि उन्होंने अपनी लीला के लिए बनाई क्या, शायद।
हाँ, तो यस गौतम, एक्चुअली ये प्रश्न अभी पहले आज ही डिस्कशन में आया था, है ना। हमने बताया कि 3 गुण क्यों है, फिर भी आपने पूछा है तो हम उसको थोड़े अलग ढंग से बता देते हैं। भगवान चाहते हैं हम उनसे प्रेम करें। प्रेम तभी हो सकता जब जीव के पास स्वतंत्रता हो। एक मशीन प्रेम नहीं कर सकती। प्रेम वो कर सकता है जिसके पास ऑप्शंस। तो भगवान ने ऑप्शन बनाई माया। अब वो ऑप्शन जितनी कठिन बनाई उतना ही अधिक प्रेम चाहिए होगा उसको रिजेक्ट करने के लिए। तो इसलिए वो थिकन द प्लॉट वाली बात यही थी कि आसान नहीं बनाया माया को रिजेक्ट करना, आपको अपने प्रेम को खूब विकसित करना पड़ेगा। तो क्योंकि भगवान चाहते थे हम उनसे प्रेम करें, उन्होंने हमको ये चॉइसेस दिए। तो उनसे निकलते हुए, perfection is not that we don't have any choices and I am choosing God. Perfection is you have the most attractive choices and you are still choosing God. That is where he wants us to reach.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. And I think today also you were gracious enough to spend so much extra time answering all the questions so beautifully and in detail. Thank you so much, Swamiji. And we know in spite of your busy schedule, you're taking time out.
Okay. Radhe Radhe. Namaste.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.